We'll start with the prayer. Sahana Bhavatu.
Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 12. We'll chant verses 10 to 15.
Abhyasepya samarthosi Matkarma paramo bhava Madarthamapi karmani Kurvan siddhimavapsyasi Athaitadapyashaktosi Kartum madyogamashritah Sarvakarma phalatyagam Tatah kuru yatatmavan Shreyo hi jnanamabhyasat Jnanadhyanam vishishyate Dhyanat karma phalatyagah Tyagat shantiranantaram Adveshta sarvabhutanam Maitrah karuna evacha Nirmamo nirahankarah Samadukha sukhakshami Santushtas satatam yogi Yatatma dridha nishchayah Mayyarpitamano buddhihi Yo madbhaktas same priyah Yasmanno dvijate lokah Lokanno dvijate chayah Harshamarshbhayodvegaihi Mukto yassa cha me priyah.
So we are on topic number 3 of the 12th chapter. 12th chapter is called as Bhakti Yoga, Yoga of Devotion. And topic 3, get some water. Maybe warm water for it.
Water. What? This one. No need to say.
And topic 3 is called 35 qualities of a bhakta, devotee. Who is a devotee? Who is a spiritual person? And last week we covered the first quality, Advaishta Sarvabhutanam, one who does not hate any being. So verse number 13 mentions first 7 qualities. So we are on the first quality, which is called as Advaishta Sarvabhutanam, meaning not hating any being. I'm just recapping. So it's very interesting construction. He does not say love all, which is much easier and practical way to say, why don't we love everybody? But he says not hating any being. So intentionally he puts it in a negative form so that wherever you have any ill feelings towards whoever you have any ill feelings, if you have, it could be dislike, it could be a strong feeling like hatred, that is where correction is required. Otherwise, why do we study scriptures? We are perfect. None of us are perfect. So you could have one or two pockets, or you could have a lot of pockets of hatred or dislike towards anybody. So that is where correction is required. I have to correct myself, you have to correct yourself. And it's very interesting. We are studying the chapter which is called as Bhakti Yoga, yoga of devotion. And the very first quality of a bhakta, of a spiritual person, is not hating any person, not hating any being, in fact. So that shows that devotion means feeling of oneness. Devotion means identification with all beings. So they are exactly the same feeling, same emotion. The usage differs. You could be devoted to your guru, you could be devoted to God, you could be devoted to your parents or a nation. Or you say, I love my wife, I love my friends, I love my colleagues. But the meaning is same. So devotion and love means feeling of oneness, identification. Whatever happens to another person happens to you. If his joy is your joy, his sorrow is your sorrow. So it's quite straightforward. Love or devotion means identification, feeling of oneness. And it's a product of your knowledge. See, when you understand, essentially, we all are nothing but divinity. See, just as when you look at any tree, tree has got so many different parts, but all that put together is nothing but tree. Seed is nothing but a tree. That sapling is nothing but a tree. Flower is nothing but a tree. There are so many leaves, is nothing but the same tree. There are branches. What is it? It's nothing but a tree. You can extract maple syrup from a maple tree. That also is tree. So different parts of any tree is nothing but the tree. So similarly, there is heterogeneity, so-called heterogeneity. I'm different, you are different, all of us are different. Look at our feelings are different, our thoughts are different. But bottom line is it is nothing but same divinity. So that's that homogeneous principle which functions in this so-called heterogeneity of objects and beings in the pluralistic world. And there are three interesting references. I think last time we did mention, we're going to show it to you. So the first quote is by Ella Wilcox. Can we have that quote? She's a well-known philosopher, Ella Wilcox. Yeah, so you can see it on the screen. So many gods, so many creeds, so many paths that wind and wind, while just the art of being kind is all the sad world needs. Intentionally, she is using the word sad because people are ignorant people. They are fighting with each other, so-called devotees. They are fighting with each other for what? I worship this god, you worship that person. My way of worshipping is different. You study particular book, I study different scripture. So many gods, so many creeds, so many paths that wind and wind. But the message is what? Same. Identification, feeling of oneness. So that's what she concludes. While just the art of being kind is all the sad world needs. So the message of all the scriptures is same. Doesn't matter which scripture you follow, which God you follow, which way of ritual you follow. Doesn't matter. The bottom line is feeling of oneness, feeling of identification. That is love. That is devotion. It's an interesting quote from Ella Wilcox. And then Samuel Coleridge. Last week we did mention briefly about Samuel Coleridge. He is known for that famous long poem, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. I wish we had time, but then if we take up that poem, minimum one or two classes are required. But what a statement he is making. He prayeth well who loveth well, both man and bird and beast. He prayeth best who loveth best, all things both great and small. So you may pray, genuinely you may pray, but what is the outcome of that prayer? What is the effect of that prayer? If you are really established in that prayer, prayer is nothing but your thoughts are on the supreme reality. How can you not identify with all beings? He clearly spells it out. Both man and bird and beast. You can extend it. It's all encompassing. So that's the meaning of true prayer. Meaning, if you are established in this knowledge, if you are a spiritual person, I may call myself spiritual person, you may call yourself a spiritual person. But what is the effect of that? It's not just a tag. I'm wearing a particular dress code. I studied Vedanta for so many years. You go to a temple, you go to a church. Excellent. Why not? But has that brought about that feeling of identification with all? So that's the true acid test of prayer, feeling of oneness. And I think last week I did mention a few quotes from additional quotes from Samuel Coleridge. Apart from this, see, all that depicts what happens to a person who develops dislike or hatred towards others. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. See, it's like that inner feeling, he's feeling dejected, he's feeling that bitterness towards others. That is all, it's all symbolic. Alone, alone, all alone, alone on a wide, wide sea. What does that mean? Alone, alone, all alone, alone on a wide, wide sea in this world. Why do you feel that feeling? Why do you get that feeling? So, this is what happens when you fall out of harmony with others, when you develop negative feeling towards others. And the worst is when he shoots the albatross, and he said he hung that albatross around his neck. We have been often using that quotation, it's quite often used. So that brings about his downfall. And then transformation takes place. It's nothing but a spiritual journey. He regains that feeling of oneness, and he's a transformed person. And then he goes on a shore and he wants to spread this message of love to the world, and he finds people. Nobody is willing to listen to him. That is how the whole thing starts. Everybody is rushing and hurrying, everybody is going for a wedding. So he catches hold of one person who is going for a wedding guest, and he says, I have a message for you. He says, no, I don't want to listen to you. Then he holds him with his glittering eye. I'm not getting into the detail. So it's nothing but that transformation which happens. It's all internal, nothing to do with what's happening outside in the external world. So that transformation you have to bring about yourself. But if you develop feeling of dislike or hatred towards anybody, who suffers? Who is the victim of that negative feeling?
The person that's having the negative feeling.
That's it. Even your own partner can help you. He or she may identify with you, but you only have to go through that disease. It's like when you get a chicken pox. I mean, what can anybody do? Yeah, they sympathize with you. You have to go through that, whatever pain or. So, fascinating quotes. Ella Wilcox and Samuel Coleridge. And then the third reference is that famous poem, Abube and Adam. Can we have that poem? I don't know how many of you heard that poem. You can Google and find out. I'm not getting into the entire poem, but you can take a screenshot if you want. Abube and Adam, may his tribe increase. We want more people like Abube and Adam who love everybody. So just keep it projected. The gist of the poem is, it's all poetry. Don't take it literally. That there was a competition. God announced that I want to find out who loves me most. who is my foremost devotee. And he sent an angel on that mission. So she went all over the world recording who is the foremost devotee of God. And people were making all sorts of claims. I love God. I am the foremost devotee of God because in last 35, 40 years, not even a single day I have missed going to temple or a church. Another devotee said, every day I chant, I don't know, verses from Gita, or I read Bible, or I read Quran, or whatever. Third person said, I go on a pilgrimage all the time. Fourth person said, I attend Vedanta classes. I'm e-learning student. I participate in all the activities. So therefore, I am the foremost devotee of God. So all sorts of claims people were making. And Angel went to Abu Ben Adam's place also. Actually, she went there by mistake because he had never made such claim. And he asked the angel, what are you writing? Names of those who love God. And Abu Ben Adam said, I can't claim that I love God, but can you please write my name as one who loves all fellow beings? So Angel got confused and she said, okay, let me write. And she went back to heaven. And when results were declared, that is why where you should read the last line. And lo, Ben Adam's name led all the rest. And lo, Ben Adam's name led all the rest. Actually, he should have been disqualified from that competition. He should have been disqualified from that competition because he was never part of that competition. He never said, I love God. It was a mistake. It was a mistake on Angel's part. Abu Ben Adam also did not know, should I participate in this competition or not? But thank God it went to God, the true judge, like Krishna or Christ, whoever. And he said, yeah, he's my foremost devotee. So why was he selected as a foremost? Why did he win the competition? It's on the screen. Though he never said, I love God. All he said was, I can claim 100% that I love fellow beings. I mean, that poem has a limitation. Gita, we say all beings. Poem, we say fellow human beings. So that is where Gita scores. Scriptures, they score. So my question is, why did he win that competition? On what statement did he win the competition? And what does it mean for you and I? What's the message? The question is open to the group. Onliners will get the opportunity first.
Because when you love all fellow beings, then within that you love God.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't claim that you love God if you don't love your fellow beings.
Mm-hmm.
Should not have negativity about others.
Mm-hmm.
There may be mixed opinions about existence of God or not, but I believe God exists somewhere. So the closest path to God is to love everybody around us.
So all these are correct answers. See,
I think God is in everybody, and if you love humans, it's indirectly loving God.
correct. So whatever the claim, you may not claim, doesn't matter. If somebody says, I'm spiritual, somebody says, I love God, it means what? That's the whole thing. You may believe, you may not believe. Somebody may believe. That's not a point here, right? Anybody claims that I love God, or I am a devotee, I am a spiritual person. All of this is they are synonyms. So what does it mean actually?
Oneness to all.
Oneness towards all. That is all. So if you claim you love God, it is translated as feeling of oneness towards all
Everyone.
beings. So that's the poem all about. It's a fascinating poem. So these three are powerful references. Ella Wilcox, Samuel Coleridge, and Abu Ben Adam. So all this put together, you understand the first quality, Advaishta Sarva Bhutana. Then the second quality, we are on verse number 13, I repeat, and there are 7 qualities mentioned here. So we completed the first quality. And the second quality is Maitra. Maitra means friendly. Since there is no feeling of otherness, naturally you are friendly towards all. Only when you lack that feeling of otherness, when you do not have that feeling of oneness towards others, you may have again those pockets where you're not friendly. Now, having that feeling of friendly or friendliness, that does not mean you start making friendship with everybody. That is where the confusion comes. A lot of people, they don't understand this. See, people may have different views, they may have different beliefs, ideas, and ideologies. They may differ from you, like they could be diametrically opposite. Why should you have any negative feelings towards them? Even though they do not subscribe to your views, your way of worship, your ideas, your beliefs, you still maintain that feeling of friendliness towards all. So it is that inner feeling of friendliness towards all. That does not mean you manifest that feeling. You may manifest. At times it may get manifested. But at times it makes sense not to manifest that feeling. If somebody really hates you and you go and try to hug that person and shake hands or something, it could be counterproductive. Because you said something and that person did not like that statement, that you all of you should come and study Vedanta. You made that statement in the group, and that person maybe attacked you openly. Why should we study Bhagavad Gita? Why should we study Vedanta? It doesn't make any sense. No, you should study so and so. And maybe he talked ill about you. So you can't go and try to be friends with that person. It's not prudent at that stage. But still you maintain that feeling of friendliness towards that person. Are you getting the difference? That does not change. How can it change if you identify with that person? But at times it gets manifested. See, the best example I can think of is like in my childhood days, I used to travel with my parents in the train. Even when I joined Vedanta Academy with Swamiji initially, we traveled quite a lot. He used to take us to different centers in India where he used to have Bhagavad Gita lecture series. And you have to travel by second class for this experience. Otherwise, you can't get that. You may get, practically everybody shares food with everybody. Those are from India, those who are born and brought up in India, they will know what I'm talking about. America, I don't have that experience, so I don't know. I haven't traveled much by train. A few times to Chicago, but I did not share food with anybody. Nobody shared food with me. That does not mean nobody shares food, but it's fascinating experience. And especially some people, they bring huge tiffin boxes. I don't know. Ordinary tiffin box is this. This is like heavy duty. One is like this, and it's like it has got 4-5 compartments, like a cruise ship. It has got like 6-7 decks, and the entire compartment they feed. That feeling of oneness. You don't know anybody, so automatically it gets manifested. But your feeling of friendliness is not dependent on manifestation. I hope you are getting the point. At times you should not manifest your feeling of friendliness. See, you admire a tiger. I am magnifying. And if you go near a tiger and if you tell him, hi baby, give me your paw, you tell a fully grown tiger, what will happen? And then not get into the discussion. But you may see a friendly dog, and you may, you go to your friend's place and, hi baby, give me your paw. And that dog, gives his paw. So that's okay. So that feeling of friendliness is inner quality, and it may get manifested, it may not get manifested. And just because you do not manifest, that does not mean you don't have that feeling of friendliness, especially towards people who are opposed to you, who may oppose you. See, that is what Bible tells us. Learn to segregate person from his qualities. Hate the sin, not the sinner. Isn't it? So you may not appreciate a particular quality in a person. That's okay. But that does not mean you have to dislike that person. That does not mean you have to hate that person. So you still maintain that feeling of friendliness towards people who differ from you, who oppose you, who may not believe in whatever beliefs you have. So that's the true test. What's the big deal if you are friendly with people who are friendly with you? What's the big deal? We all are. That's not being friendly. You are friendly with people who are what? Not friendly with you. So that's the test. See, near my house, very close, in fact, from walking distance from my house, there's a Tesla showroom. On an average, once in a week, once in 10 days, 15 days, I find people coming and protesting, somebody. I'm not making this statement from political point of view. Don't misunderstand. Somebody says something. It could be a politician, it could be a businessman, it could be you and I, whatever, and there are vehement protests. I mean, I think last year it happened. In fact, many of the Teslas were vandalized, and some of us have Teslas. You're scared. Oh my God! If I park my car and go, what happened? So you may not appreciate with a particular view or a statement of that person, whoever that person is. But why are you taking your anger on innocent people? Are you getting it? So being that's the meaning of that. You are friendly towards people who may oppose your views or beliefs or ideologies. So bottom line is feeling of oneness. The moment there is feeling of otherness, all the negativity or bitterness comes out. Then you're not friendly. Next quality number 3, karuna. Karuna means compassion, consideration for others, feeling for others, sympathy. You identify and feel sympathetic towards people, towards beings who are less fortunate than you. See, that is where that compassion comes. I'm going to give examples just to explain what does it mean. I repeat, compassion, the Sanskrit word is karuna. It is consideration for others, feeling for others, sympathy for others. You identify and you feel sympathetic towards people and beings who are less fortunate than you. See, for example, you and I may have wealth, a decent amount of wealth. So we are living a comfortable lifestyle, whatever it may be. But there are people who can't even imagine the amenities which we take for granted. See, you may not be able to do anything. How can you help everybody? But at least you identify towards them. That there are people who are not as fortunate as I am. I have heated rooms. I have like a nice vehicle to drive. Like good food, nice clothes, and whatever amenities. But there are people who may not have all these amenities. You and I may have good health, but there are people. If you ever go to assisted living, it's not. It's not easy to see the kind of the pain or suffering they are going through. So you identify with them. You and I have education. That's the reason maybe we are well mannered. We have done well in life. We are civil. But there are people who did not get that opportunity in life to be educated like how you and I got. Similarly, spiritual growth. Maybe you got exposed to this knowledge. As a reason, you are established in this knowledge. Higher values you are established. And there are people who never got this opportunity. So therefore, in ignorance, they behave in a particular way. And that person could be your own spouse, that person could be your own colleague, that person could be your own boss, your members of your community. So instead of pouncing on them, you forgive them. See, that's the bottom line. Why you forgive them? Because there is compassion. The poor person, he doesn't know what he's doing. The way they are attacking me, or the way they are hurting me, or whatever. If in a workplace, there could be politics, there could be manipulation, and all that. So in fact, you should feel sympathetic towards them. And how is it possible? Only when you are at a higher level. So I'm trying to explain that quality of compassion from practical level. Otherwise, okay, have compassion. So what's the big deal? How do I apply that in my day-to-day life? And extend whatever help you can. It's not that all the time you can help. You can't help everybody. First of all, whether that person needs your help is the question. But if you feel you can help, if you're obliged to help, definitely you should. For example, you may share your wealth, isn't it? You may share your knowledge, whatever knowledge you have in your own field. This is what we are doing. Why do we do public lectures every year? 1 or 2 public lectures we do. If you ask me, if you ask any of the group members here, I mean, it's a big pinch for us, financially. But still, how can we not do that? How can we not spread this knowledge? Any human being who is suffering, who is going through stress, strain, problem in a relationship is because of what? Because of lack of this knowledge. So how can you not share this knowledge? And it's very interesting. Some of these Mahatmas, enlightened masters, they went through a lot of personal discomfort to spread this knowledge. We are studying Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is the example. I mean, why is he fighting the war? He has got nothing to do with it. But just to resurrect righteousness in a society, he planted himself in that unpleasant situation. Those who are familiar with Swamiji, till the age of 94, Swamiji was lecturing all over the world. In 94, we had that, when he was 94, that big lecture we had in Manhattan. I mean, what is the need? At the age of 50, 55, international travel is taxing on the body. Forget about 50, 55. Even at the age of 35, it is taxing, So till the age of 94, he was going all over the world. Why? That compassion for you and me. Similarly, you may offer emotional support. Yesterday somebody asked this question to me, that my friend is going through some emotional trauma. What do I do? I said, what he needs is emotional comfort. Is your friend? Just go spend some time with him. I mean, you can't solve this problem, but definitely you can offer emotional support. So how can you not do that? So extend whatever help you can if they are available. I'm repeating. You may share your wealth, you may share your knowledge, you may offer emotional support or whatever. And opposite of compassion is indifference. That feeling of callousness. You don't care for others. See, the French Queen Mary Antoinette, I don't know how to pronounce it. So it is French, so you can pronounce it in any way, it doesn't matter. She was the last queen of France. So she's supposed to have said this when people went and they told her the entire nation is suffering and the royalty was like really indulging. So she's supposed to have said, let them eat cake. Let them eat cake. And I mean, people don't have proper food, abject poverty. And the lady, if she said, it's that attitude, forget about the statement, let them eat cake. If they can't afford bread, let them eat cake. So that brought about French Revolution. So that attitude, you and I are so comfortable, and we could be totally indifferent towards the suffering of others. We may not be able to do anything, but the least you can do is identify with other person's pain or suffering or whatever situation they are in. How can you, if you have compassion, how can you put a bird in a cage? As a pet, I'm talking about. How can you put a fish in a tank? How can you do that? Even in 1%, 0.1% of compassion you have. Imagine somebody puts you in a cage, and they're very nice to you. They feed you, then whole day they go and again come back in the evening. Hi, honey, how are you doing? Play with you. And whole day you are in a cage. How would you feel? How would you feel if you're a fish and somebody puts you in a tank? How would you feel? So if you have compassion, how can you put a bird in a cage? How can you put a fish in a tank? And since I'm in America, I'm sticking out my neck, but I have to say this. How can you keep dog as a pet? Though I'm a dog lover, don't get me. Somebody may feel that he hates dogs or something. Now you love dog's company, but does dog love your company? Is the question. The first thing you do is you neuter him. Imagine somebody neuters you when you're a teenager. How would you feel? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a very gross way of putting it. You go for a walk, 10 feet you can maximum walk. You're on a leash. How would you feel? So think about it. I mean, I don't want to get into controversies here. The point here is compassion. But I'm sticking out my neck and I'm willing to face the consequences of this controversial statement. So that is compassion. Quality number 3. Quality number 4, nirmama, no mindness. A bhakta, a spiritual person, has no feeling of mindness, meaning no possessive attitude about your possessions. It's very simple, but most people, they misunderstand. You may have all the possessions in the world. You may be the emperor of the world. You may have vast wealth, but least connection with that. You don't feel possessive about it. You have a family, you have your job, you are successful, everything is perfect. But there is no feeling of mindness, there is no feeling of possessiveness. On the other hand, you may not have anything. You may be a loner, hardly any wealth. Still, you could be possessive about broken pots and whatever you don't possess. So, that feeling of mindness or possessiveness has got nothing to do with the quantum of your possession. This is where people, they misunderstand spirituality. Being spiritual, being religious means give up your possessions. You may give up your possessions and you could be possessive about the attitude of not being possessive, which is being possessive. If I make a statement, if I become possessive about my knowledge, what knowledge I have got, I mean, that statement literally has got no meaning. Any person who has got an ounce of intellect will understand that this knowledge is not mine. This knowledge has been around for thousands of years. The enlightened masters, galaxy of them, they have given out this knowledge to us. And any one of us develops that feeling, but I have this knowledge. Practically, it has got no meaning. This is my farm. 20 acres of land I have bought in Florida. And these are my oranges. What is yours in that farm? Examine. Did you plant the seed? Did you push that seed? Did you what did you do? No, it is my money. With my money I bought. How did you earn money? Hundreds and hundreds of people, they have contributed to your success. So that feeling of mineness has got no meaning. Nothing is yours. It's a misconception. Everything belongs to the Lord, and you claim this is mine. Has got no meaning. It's an absolutely absurd statement if you analyze. And again, there is a famous story from Puranas which we always mention about King Janaka. Those are from India, they know, but you don't have to be from India to know. He was a king. He was an emperor, in fact, King Janaka. Vast empire, vast power he had. Totally detached from whatever he possessed. And he used to attend classes like this. He used to go to a guru to attend lectures on Upanishads. And there was a talk, all loose talk. Other disciples they used to say, no, Guru is partial towards, he's biased towards King Janka because he's a king. You and I are nobody because we don't have any wealth. The Guru knew all this talk was going on. And one day what he did was, with his yogic power, he created a fire in the city. Sub-concept, no such thing is possible. Don't ask in the question how to create that yogic fire. Is just an example. No such thing is possible. Mithila, huge, prosperous city. And he's a king. He owns the whole city. And the moment everybody saw that there's a fire in the city, they forgot about 35 qualities. Guru was above explaining nirmama, mindness, and they were giving answers. Yes, I understood what is not being possessive. The moment they saw there's a fire in the city, they forgot the class. They ran to save nothing. Most of them were poor. And the king who owned the entire kingdom, he did not move. Now, don't take it literally. Tomorrow your house is on fire, attitude of dispossessiveness. And people, they take it to the absurdity. This is where you have to be careful. So he was totally dispossessive about his possessions. So that's the point you learn here. No feeling of mindness. And Swamiji often describes this quality in a different way. Hotel room attitude. I don't know how to explain it to you. See, for example, you're posted to New York. You're from Ohio, Columbus. And for some work, for some project, you go to Manhattan. And you rent executive suite for 3 months. Right? Everything is comfortable place, 350 square feet. Will you not take care of that place? You will maintain it meticulously. If coffee spills, you will clean it. Whatever, meticulously will take care of it. But end of the day, you're not possessive about it. If carpet, there is some spot or some stain, it's not end of the world. But imagine your own house, brand new carpet, that too, white carpet you have put. $10,000 you spent, and we all come to your place with white, and somebody drops coffee. God be with that person. So that attitude, hotel room attitude. When you rent a car, you go to Florida, you go to Chicago, wherever you go, you may rent a premium car just for that experience. And you may have premium car of your own, but you rent a car. Some small scratch comes on that premium car. How would you feel? Not your own car, rented car. That's the whole point. Somebody scratches your brand new premium car. How do you feel? Now, that doesn't mean anybody can come and scratch your car. So you're not being possessive about your possessions. And it's directly linked to your ego. That's the next quality. More the ego, more is the possessiveness. And through logic and reason, you can gradually liquidate that attitude of mindness. That's the solution. Because nothing is yours. You claim something is mine. It's the most absurd thing. Nothing is yours. So how can you develop that attitude of possessiveness? It's a product of your ignorance. Any person who is possessive about anything, he is advertising his ignorance. That is about all. Next quality. See, all these are interconnected. Slowly you will see the link right from the first quality. Quality number 5. Nira ahankara. Ahankara is ego. Ni means no. Without egoism, without any ego. Extremely important quality. My worst enemy is who? My ego. Your worst enemy is who?
My ego.
Myself.
Your ego. My enemy is my ego. Your Makaran's enemy is Makaran's ego. If it is, just to explain the concept. And today, ego is your best friend. What a paradox. He should be your worst enemy, in fact. But your worst enemy is your best friend today, if he is. So ego is your worst enemy. What is ego? Individuality is created because of ego. There is no wave in the ocean from absolute level, but little bit of water identifies with itself and claims that individuality. I am so and so wave. So that is the birth of the wave or individuality. Where there is no individuality, that is the birth of ego. And that wave continues feeding that thought. I am big, I am small, whatever. So exactly same thing is happening to all of us. We have been born, this individuality has been created because of the ego. If you did not have an ego, if I did not have an ego, you wouldn't have been born in the first place. So the very fact that we are born is a proof of what? Ego. Birthday is a proof of what? And what are we doing? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Veera. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. You know, Veera is on the, I don't know, I don't see him also now. He's dancing on the roof. You know, anybody does that, I mean, should run away from that place. Don't take it literally. For fun, it is okay. But from philosophical point of view, it is what? It's a tragedy. The most tragic event in our life is actually the fact that we are born and what we are celebrating that. So we keep on feeding that. So being spiritual means liquidation of ego to begin with, and ultimately annihilation of ego, which is the state of enlightenment. So what is this ego? Ego is nothing but that arrogating principle in me. Arrogation is the claimant in you, which claims everything is mine. This is my body. This is my mind. This is my intellect. This is mine. This is mine. It's a claimant in you. Undue focus on your personality. That black market opinion of oneself. Too much you are thinking about yourself, either positively or negatively. It is same. Undue, exaggerated opinion of oneself. And ego creates divisions and demarcations. That's what happens. You create plurality where there is oneness. You create heterogeneity where there is homogeneity. There is only ocean. Where are the waves? But wave is creating that heterogeneity. I am different. Other waves are different. And the moment you have ego, it will produce mental agitations. If you have mental agitations, you know what is the cause. Ego. If you don't have mental agitations, that means you have no ego. None of us can claim that. So the moment you have ego, there will be mental agitations, there is disharmony, there is conflict, there are confrontations. More the ego, more the agitations, more the disharmony, more the conflicts, more the confrontations. And your relationship with the world becomes confrontational, inimical. Anywhere. At home, you will have issues with your spouse, with your own family. You go to work, you'll have issues. You go for any community event, you participate in community, there will be issues. You go to a spiritual place, there will be issues. I was talking to my colleague from New York. They had that center, the best in New Jersey, very successful center. A couple of weeks back, I was talking to them. So they were sharing with me the number of temples which are mushrooming there all over. It's not that people have become suddenly spiritual. Yes, some of them could be. So the reason is, let's say they start a temple, a place of worship. Somebody becomes president, somebody becomes secretary, third person becomes a treasurer or whatever. Within 3-4 years, there's a big fight. And they ABC, they separate, they start their own temple. It stays for a while. Again, they fight with each other, third temple. So it was interesting, they were telling me. So The particular temple they started is something like fifth or sixth generation temple. And originally, they were part of Temple A. They branched off from that, started B, ego. You go to a religious place, you fight. I mean, you have confrontations, you have conflicts. Like a shadow, that ego follows you. That's what shadow does. So the most faithful companion is who? Your shadow. Similarly, your most faithful, so-called faithful companion is who? Your own ego. Don't say ego. My ego. Ego is what? Yeah, then that means you're above ego. Maybe, I don't know. And Veera will tell us. So you become like a bull in a china shop. We often use that phrase. Everything is perfect, beautiful. You let loose bull in a china shop, what will happen?
I'll smash everything.
Everything will be disturbed. Beautiful family, everything is perfect. Wealth is there, job is there, lovely children, lovely spouse, still fights. Why? Bull in a china shop. Go to a workplace, everything is perfect. Everybody is getting along with each other. You'll find always there are one or two people who, like a bull in a china shop. So it's nothing to do with external situation. This is my point. Nothing to do with what's happening in the world. It's your own attitude. If I have that pronounced ego, then I become that bull in the china shop. Wherever I come here, I have clashes with Makran. I will have clashes with Veera, or Veera will have clashes with me. So in that sense, that expression is used, bull in the china shop. So you cannot coexist with each other. That's the easiest way to explain. And ego expresses in three different ways. See, I'm explaining step by step. Otherwise, how do we know? So far, we just talked about ego. But how do I know I have ego in me? How do you know you have ego in you? And we all have traces of ego. So ego expresses in three different ways. I am supreme, I am the doer, and I alone exist. I repeat, that feeling of I am supreme, I am the doer is called as kartutva bhavana, or I alone exist. So I may claim I am superior based on whatever. I have more wealth than you, or I have more knowledge than you, or I have better health than you, I have more power. So due to that, you feel you're superior to others. That is ego. Or I am the doer, kartutva bhavana. Because of me, the whole household is running. I'm the linchpin of this department. I'm the linchpin of this community. If I go, everything collapses. There's no such thing. Best of men, they have come. Best of men, they have gone. What has happened? World is as it is. So that attitude of I'm the doer, kartutva bhavana, because of me, everything is functioning. It's the most absurd concept or attitude. Or the attitude of I alone exist. Others should cater to me. What about their comforts? You don't care. See, all of us are here in this room, 8, 10 of us. And somebody comes just to explain the concept and switches off all the lights. Class is going on. There are 70, 80 people attending online. And he says, no, only this lamp should be on. He doesn't even ask us. I like that lamp. But what about us? So similarly, you want others to cater to you. You're totally indifferent towards their comforts. What do they think? What do they want? What are their views? What are their opinions? Are they comfortable? The whole world has to cater to me alone, my feelings. And again, the reference I can give here is the character of Fanny Dorrit. We often give this, but you can do your own research and find out. She's a character from Charles Dickens' novel Little Dorrit. Little Dorrit's older sister, her name is Fanny Dorrit. So Google and find out. And she used to be always disturbed. Nobody knew why she was disturbed. And her famous statement is, I wish I were dead. I wish I were dead. That's all. In best of circumstances, she used to make that statement. Initially, they were poor, then they got huge fortune. Even when they were poor, Fanny Dorrit used to make that statement, I wish I was dead, I wish I was dead. Even they got all the money in the world, she continued to make that statement, I wish I was dead, I wish I was dead. Totally egoistic person. The moment anybody did not cater to her, she got disturbed. But her little sister, little Dorrit, in best and worst of circumstances, she was happy. She was very service minded. It was fascinating, this English literature, how it helps us. You can Google and find out. So everybody has to cater to me. I don't care about others' comforts. That attitude of I alone exist. So I am supreme, ego. I am the doer, expression of ego. I alone exist, expression of ego. And another way ego can manifest or manifests is complexes. Either superiority complex or inferiority complex. Both are expressions of ego. Nobody is superior, nobody is inferior. Everybody has got a role to play. Plumber has got a role to play. Carpenter has got a role to play. Pilot has got a role to play. Businessman has got a role to play. Politician has got a role to play. Every object and a being has got a role to play. Nobody is superior, nobody is inferior. So due to ignorance, you get into this feeling that I am supreme or I am nobody. There is no such thing. So ego can manifest or manifests as complexes, superiority complex or inferiority complex. And all mental health issues, the starting point is ego, period. As simple as that. Undue focus on one's personality, which is so pronounced in present generation. See, 20 years back, 25 years back, 40 years back, it was not so. Now it is pronounced. That does not mean everybody has it. There's too much focus on one's personality. When person may have everything plus 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 in his or her life, in spite of that, sulking or whatever the problems are, their mental health issues. What is the reason? Ego. But in this case, we should be able to explain it more. Everything is perfect in my life. Good education, good parents, good amenities, everything is perfect. Still, I am disturbed all the time. Why? I could be disturbed all the time. Why?
Because I think I deserve perfection. And something is missing, and I'm just focusing on that.
1 hour I spoke. I don't know about how else to convey this concept. Undue focus on my personality.
Yeah.
And I, my. That is ego. You will stew in your own juice. That's the price you pay. So coming back, all mental health issues, starting point is ego. Undue focus on one's personality, that black market value for oneself, exaggerated opinion of oneself. So what do? Become aware and arrest this thought flow going towards your personality. If you do not arrest it, there is nothing you can do. Become aware, yes, that there are traces of ego, and therefore I gave this in-depth analysis. This is how ego functions in my life, your life. So become aware of this, that thought flow, and arrest that thought flow going towards your personality. And the knowledge of Vedanta, the knowledge of scriptures, it provides you the techniques of doing that. That's what we discuss this. Therefore, we keep on saying, work for the welfare of others. Loka Sangra. Doesn't matter wherever you are. This is one of the techniques. To dissolve that ego instead of working just for yourself all life. What can I get? What can I get? What can I get? And also the knowledge, that in-depth knowledge, it explains to you, what is it which is yours? Nothing. Why are you becoming possessive? Nothing you possess. So that's what I mean by knowledge and the technique. So arrest this thought flow going towards your personality. It's your worst enemy. So they are interconnected. Quality number 4 and 5. Nirmama, no mindness. That was quality number 4. We already discussed. And ego. So any quick questions? It's time up now. 10, 20, 10, 32. Yeah, time up. So any quick questions based on what we discussed today? 1 or 2 minutes I can give you.
Hi, Amitji. I have this question. If or when the ego rises and if we feel like, okay, it's about us, like how do we come out of it? Is there any practice that we can do to come out of it instantly or eventually?
See, the moment you become aware that you have an ego, so that itself is the solution. Most people, they're not aware. That's the problem. And the more the ego, more that lack of awareness. So the fact, don't take it personally, the fact that you're aware, I'm aware that I have an ego, that means it's the beginning of the solution. And then, of course, what you need is knowledge ultimately. But at that moment, I mean, whatever we discuss, you can remind yourself, I mean, who am I? I mean, everybody has got a role to play. Why unnecessarily I am giving undue importance to myself, So that will give you that immediate relief kind of a thing. And who is the victim? I'm only suffering, Whatever that ego, if there is a clash, I mean, you only suffer. You go through mental trauma and all that. So, I mean, how is it? It's a lose-lose situation. So that's what you can tell yourself at that moment. But it's a long-term exercise. I mean, you cannot conquer your ego suddenly. So your daily association with this knowledge and whatever values we are learning, we keep on reminding ourselves, have higher goal in life, higher ideal in life. Why are you just working for yourself? Anywhere you are. If you're a student, have some higher ideal. If you're in a profession, work for that profession. If you're a politician, work for the community. It doesn't matter. So the word which we use is lokasangra. So that dissolves your ego eventually. Otherwise, most people whole life, what can I get? That's the attitude. Relationship, what can I get? Profession, what can I get? Community, what can I get? Nation, what can I get? There is no chance. So therefore, the ultimate solution is knowledge. But to begin with, if you are aware, then there is a hope. And eventually you will definitely come out of it.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, so everybody wants to go now. So I'll see you next week. There is no Q&A or anything this week, right? Okay.
Thank
So
you.
I'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Mitji.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mitji.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Amitji.
Hariom.